I posted a TikTok video about how I manifested my now husband. When I say the girls ate it up, oh my goodness, guys, I am literally super excited to be here. I literally can't describe like how much I have missed just like talking on here, talking to you all, just sharing, and I don't know, there's something about being able to just talk and share and have you all on this journey of life with me that I've missed so much. And so welcome back to my channel. Like, how are the girls doing? If you're new here, my name is Brittany Nicole and I create videos here just talking about a little bit of everything: relationships, entrepreneurship, life things, and I'm super excited to just be back on this channel and be able to share in the things that I actually love sharing. A few months ago, I actually posted a TikTok video. Now, I know that this channel is a little bit behind, so let me give some context before I talk about the TikTok video that I posted. Within the past year and a half almost, I moved to Boston. And so if you've been watching me or following me for quite some time, then you know that I used to live in the New York, New Jersey area. So I am now like decided to take another leap and move to Boston. Still on the East Coast, but a new city. So we moved to Boston. Well, I moved to Boston November 2022. My husband was already here. And then it's just been a year of like evolution, kind of like finding myself in this new city and just rediscovering who I am as a woman, who I am as a person, and what it is that I personally like to do and how I want to position myself, especially on these platforms, right? Like, what is it that I want to give? What impact do I want to have? And so that's been, the past year and a half has truly been like a rebirth era for me. In that year and a half, I got engaged. We got engaged February 2023, and then we got married September 2023. So like, there's been a lot of like transition, a lot of change happening, all for the good, right? Like, things have been constantly moving. I've been trying to figure out like how I wanted to show back up on this channel, and I finally felt it in my heart. God like steering me in the direction that He wants me to go on my platforms that's going to feel the most authentic to me as a woman in this era that I'm currently in. I say that to say, going back to the TikTok video, I posted a TikTok video about how I manifested my now husband. When I say the girls ate it up, like the girls ate it up, and let me tell you why. My stance is always going to be as a Christian woman. My situation as far as dating leading up to my husband, I've always valued and leaned towards intentional dating. The work that I did on myself prior to meeting my husband was the inner work that needed to be done in order for me to attract the type of man I wanted to attract, the type of man that I knew God had for me as I was in this season of waiting and working on myself. I just want to set the ground for that because that's important, right? Like, how you approach a situation or how you approach dating is going to ultimately be the trajectory of what you attract and what you experience, right? So I just want to set the scene there. I posted this video because I was just like, you know what, like, as I was going through my single season, as I was going through this journey of rediscovering myself and figuring out like how I wanted to re-enter this this scene, right? Like how I wanted to re-enter my next relationship after, you know, going through heartbreak. I was very intentional, and the things that I'm going to share in this video are the things that I really do feel like set me up to meet the man of my dreams, period. Like the man of my dreams, and set me up to grow closer to being the woman that God has always wanted me to be. I'm going to give you some backstory on my single season. So the season of my life leading up to meeting my husband. And then I am going to share some tidbits of how I knew that this man was going to be my husband before we even got married, before we even got engaged, like how I knew that this was the man that God wanted me to wait for. I'm gonna talk about all of that. All right, so just grab your beverage of choice. I've got tea here. I had my coffee early this morning, so your girl doesn't need any more coffee, but I've got my green tea here. Light a candle, set the vibes, y'all. Like set the vibes, the soft life vibes, and we're gonna get into this story time. Tea is hot. Before I met my husband, I was in a 3-year-long relationship. I was not happy. We were living together. It was the pandemic. And I decided that year that I wanted to quit my full-time job and start working for myself, right? July of 2020, I quit my full-time job. I started working for myself. If you don't know, I am an entrepreneur. I'm a content creator. And so I quit my full-time job so I could work on my agency full-time, the Boss Up. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I just took this huge, massive leap by quitting my job. I saved up $10,000 and I was just like, all right, like I'm ready to do this. God said, psych, girl, let me show you what's about to happen. Now that you have trusted me and listened to me, I'm gonna remove some other things in your life so that you can get to the level that you need to get to. Boom, broke up with that boyfriend. In breaking up with him, I had to move into my own studio apartment. Now, I told you guys that I saved $10,000. When I tell you that half of that money went towards first month's rent deposit for my new studio apartment, like I could have thrown up at that time. Like being very frank, like in that moment, I was just like, what did I even just do? I can't believe this is happening. Like, how am I gonna make the money? Because I really thought that that $10,000 was gonna be like my cushion until I started making like substantial money in my business. I have to live like my studio apartment at that time was like $1,800, right? And so I'm like, how am I gonna have this money stretch until I'm making a substantial amount of money in my business? So like, just when I thought like my life was going to be a certain way, God like showed me, all right, this is what's going to happen. Like in this season, you are going to have to lean on me. That is exactly what I did. Although during that time, I was still trying to like fight against it, right? Like as we do as humans, right? Human beings, like we let ego take over. We let how we thought things were going to turn out, like our expectations, like really like rule our lives and rule the way we move. But I have to tell myself like, okay, this is what your current situation is. It's all temporary. What are you going to do about it? What are you gonna complain, cry, like be sad? And I can't say that I didn't have those sad moments. I was like, girl, pick yourself up. Like, it's like that Sarah Jakes sermon where she's like, girl, get up. That is the moment that I had for myself. I was like, girl, get up. Like, you need to show yourself what you can do in this season, right? Like, you need to be all that God has created you to be in this season. This noise is killing me. But so I got up, right? Like I got up, got myself together. I was like, what do I need to do to make this business successful? What inner work do I need to do to heal from this traumatic situation? And how can I become more like the woman that God has created me to be? So going into my self-discovery journey, my healing journey, my growth journey, the first thing I did, I started going to therapy. I found my therapist online on, I think, blackgirltherapy.com, or Therapy for Black Girls. And when I tell you, that year of therapy was the most transformational year ever. Like, first of all, I had a Black woman therapist. She was faith-based, and so a lot of the work that she had me do had to do with tying back to my faith, which was super important for me during that season. Opening things that I didn't even know affected me and how they trickled down into relationships. Like, we were unpacking all of that. And so I did the inner work and I went to therapy. My therapist shared this really great exercise, which is what I shared over on TikTok as I was going through my intentional dating journey, right? The exercise was take out a piece of paper, write down the list of characteristics you want in your future partner. So if you want them to be family oriented, if you want them to be ambitious, like just write down all of the characteristics that you want in your future partner. And then go to the Bible and find Bible verses that are attributed, that correspond with that characteristic, right? And when I was going through this exercise, like, it helped me better visualize the type of man that I wanted to call into my life, the type of man that I needed to be praying for, the type of man that when God does send him to me, I'll know that he was God sent. And then it also helped me figure out, okay, what type of woman do I need to be? How do I need to position myself to attract this high value kingdom man? Like, what do I need to do so that I can attract that? So that exercise was gold for me, and it really helped set the scene for my intentional dating journey. The next thing I did in my single season was personal development. I was waking up at 5 a.m. I was reading. I was feeding my mind with positivity. I was listening to podcasts. I was really pouring into myself the way that I should have been always pouring into myself, even in a relationship. Sometimes when we're in relationships, we often lose track of ourselves, right? Like, we stop pouring into ourselves. We're too busy pouring into our partner. We're too busy like trying to make sure we're being all the things to them, but we forget to be all the things to ourselves. And when I started to pour back into myself and really take care of myself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all of that, like, I felt like my best self. And there's like a sense of confidence that you get when you're starting to feel in alignment with self. When I tell you, like, my confidence rose, like in my business, my confidence rose with how I presented myself. Like, all of those things were married together because of the inner work that I was doing and how I was very serious about taking care of myself, right? I was taking time out like before 9 a.m. to do all of those things, right? To take care of myself. I said confidence, but also like how I carried myself, so my self-worth, right? I knew because I'm doing this inner work and because I'm pouring into myself in this way, I cannot accept a partner who is not matching energy. I cannot accept a partner who is not equally yoked, right? Like, we need to be on the same frequency for us to vibe. And I was just like, never again. will I lower my frequency to be in alignment with someone else? I need that person to, they need to increase their frequency if they want to be on the same wavelength as me. And I think that as women, that is the mindset that we need to have. Like, don't bring yourself down. Allow that person to bring themselves up to you if they are not already. That goes for friendships, that goes for intimate relationships, it goes with family. Like, challenge people to meet you where you are instead of you coming down to where they are. So I say that to say that was a huge game changer in how I started to think about relationships, right? Like, it just transformed my mindset for the better. The third thing that I did was I took myself on dates. Like, I really embraced the solo dating. Now, granted, this was during the pandemic, so I couldn't take myself a lot of places. But I took myself on dates. I went to restaurants. I ate by myself. I just really enjoyed pouring into myself in that way, taking myself out, like treating myself, buying myself flowers, giving myself my flowers. Like, I dated myself so much that like I became so comfortable in my solitude. I didn't need to be around a bunch of people to be activated. I was comfortable enough with my own company. And I think that sometimes when you are dating, you're like searching for someone to fill this void for you, someone to spend your time with, someone to distract you from spending time with yourself. But I was like, I need to spend time with myself and I need to get to know her. I need to get to know who she is at this point in life. Like, she has changed so much from her early 20s. She has changed so much from her mid 20s. Like, I need to know that girl again. And that's what I spent my time doing. I even went on my first solo travel. But I was like, girl, like, we are getting out, we're getting active, like, live your best life. Enjoy your solo travels, enjoy your solo dining experiences, enjoy just this moment of solitude, because when God sends you your husband, you may never get this time back again. You're gonna be in a whole different realm of life. And it's gonna be amazing and it's gonna be great, but you're gonna regret not spending that time with yourself and getting to know yourself and really just doing all of the things that you wanted to do. Like, decorate your apartment the way you want it to be. Like, I mean, there's so many things, right? So I really took advantage of that time and just did the things that I have always wanted to do but didn't do because I was in a relationship. The last thing I did, and I think this is the key, I scripted my life as if it had already happened. I wrote letters to my future husband saying the type of life that we have, where I am currently in life. Like, I scripted this life that I envisioned for myself, this life that I envisioned with my future husband. I scripted it all. And I still have those letters. I actually gave those letters in a box to my husband on our wedding day. But I was like, okay, I see this life for myself. I need to write it down. Like, I need to write as if it had already happened. And when I tell you guys, like, I scripted so much, and it's so in alignment with what I currently have now in my husband. Like, I scripted down to saying, like, we're gonna have a brown dog. We have a brown dog with brown eyes. His name is Sace. But my husband already had this dog before we met. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like, was I really that spot on? Like, that is insane. But the power in your words, ooh, let me say that one more time. The power in your words are so powerful. And when you decide to manifest, to pray, to write down what it is that you want, and be specific and intentional about your words, you could just start to see the power of God working and like aligning your life with what it is that you are envisioning. He knows the desire of your heart. So as long as you're doing the inner work and being specific and intentional about what it is that you want, like, you will start to see your whole outer world change. So I know that was like a lot of information in one video. So I do want to summarize it, okay? Like, take the time you need to work on yourself, and don't let social media, your friends, don't let the external world rush your process. Go at your own pace and do it with intention, do it with grace, do it with a clear mindset, and really work on healing your inner. So first things first, date yourself. You can't expect someone to date you when you are not even comfortable dating yourself. Second thing, be intentional about what it is you want, intentional and specific about your words and the type of characteristics that you want in a partner, and the type of characteristics that you would like to exude, the type of woman that you would like to be for your future partner. 3, script. Script. Envision the life that you want, envision the person that you want to spend it with, and just write it all down. Documentation is key, like, because when you read back on those moments, you're just gonna feel so much more fulfilled and excited about what it is that God has coming for you. If you need like therapy or need to dive into some specific tools and resources that can help you on your journey, I will link books down in the description that I read while I was in my single season. I will also link the Black Girls or Therapy for Black Girls site, and just like some other like sites where you can find like a really good therapist if that is an avenue that you're looking to explore. But I just felt compelled to share my journey with you because I think that it's easy to like get on social media and just start comparing yourself and your journey to others. But I am here to say, like, your journey is your own journey, and God will give you the desires at your heart in due time when He feels like it is the right time for you. So embrace all of what your life is currently, and just show gratitude for where you are going, because great things are going to unfold for you, but you just have to put in the work and let great things come and like seep in, right? So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it wasn't like a lot of rambling and like you actually get like some tidbits from it. So if you like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment below, tell me your thoughts. Tell me how your intentional dating journey is going, especially as a Christian woman. Like, what are some things that you're finding? What are some things you want me to talk about more? So I'm open to share anything else that you would like me to share, just help support you on your journey.